Hello everyone, this is the Jovi Tour podcast. I just thought I'd jump on for a few minutes and speak about some of the latest news that we've received regarding the band lately. So, obviously about a week ago, a few days ago, whatever it was, we found out that there's going to be a Runaway show again. Being the first one in a while, obviously with John's vocal issues and, kind of nothing really going on during the Forever promo in terms of shows and live performances, etc. So, it's going to be the first time since Music Is really that the band have performed together. It is the first actual show. So it's going to be interesting to see or find out what obviously the set list is going to be when it gets announced and stuff. That's kind of one thing I'm looking forward to seeing. See if they've been rehearsing and stuff as we always hear. So it'll be interesting to see if they play some new songs, if they play some old songs and so on. My biggest gripe, obviously, as always, is the cost of this event. It's just an absolute money-grabbing event for the band. For a band that don't need any money, for the lead singer who certainly doesn't need any money. It's just the biggest money maker. Obviously, over previous years, it's always been expensive. But this year, it's still expensive, and you don't even get the meet and greet opportunity, and that's being confirmed. Someone obviously. I'll be honest, I'm not too sure who it was. I just seen it on Twitter, messaged the Runaway Tours page and asked if there would be one, and they replied saying no, there isn't going to be one. So that's actually being confirmed. Whether or not they change it, but I highly doubt it, seeing as it's sold out. But that's usually that's a thing that you'd kind of go, right, I'm going to pay X amount for the show, I'll pay X amount for the hotel, and if I pay a little bit extra and I get to meet them, happy days. If you've got that type of money, obviously. But unfortunately, this time round, they're not even doing that. I just think it's a real money-grabbing thing again by the band. They've obviously announced as well, no phones. Now, there's certain things, there's rumours going around. So, one reason I'm hearing is, I say I'm hearing, I've seen. One reason is the Forever Duet album. Some of the fans will get to hear that first. But then I've also heard that the album's getting released in June, or June, July, so I can't really see it being that much of an issue regarding phones, because let's not forget, around the Forever promo, I got to hear a few songs before they got released, and I think maybe on More to Jericho, John said, don't film it and post it, but no one took your phone away, put it that way. So I personally can't see that being the case. That's for the Forever Duet. I don't think it's that big of an issue, and I don't think there's that, it would actually be nice to hear some songs, see what they actually sound like, but I can't see it being that. The other one is, people are saying there may be a live performance getting filmed, so obviously this live performance that's happening, it may be getting filmed for whatever reason, whether it's a YouTube show, whether it's, I don't know whether it's going to be officially released or whatever, but again, I can't see it. The only reason, in my opinion, is it's down to John's vocals. I just think, obviously, the band haven't announced the tour. There's been no announcements of the tour at all. This is the first show. This is the only show that we've heard of so far. I think it's going to be a way of, and I know negative press, and when the tour does happen eventually, there's going to be a lot of negativity, but I think if you've got the likes of Jerry and stuff like that going, who, the Nashville I'll Be There For You apparently in 2022 is the best version ever. And we've all got ears, it was probably the worst ever. You've got fans like that who are going to go there and say it's that, John sounds fantastic, and we've got no proof to say it doesn't sound great. And all these fans are going to come back and say, oh yeah, he's sounding better than ever, and this vocal surgery's really worked, and so on and so forth, and whatever else. And then they can announce a tour because there's a little bit of good press and there's a little bit of good feedback, and that's all the indication we've got is how he's sounding good. Come 6 months time, 9 months time, if a tour happens, yeah, the first night he's probably going to sound terrific, but tickets have already sold them, so I don't think they'll care. As I said, and I say this every time, I'll be one of the first people in the queue to buy a ticket. I want to see them again before they retire. I go for the events as well. I go for the, to meet up with friends and stay in different cities and countries and whatever else. I go for the whole experience. I don't just go for the show anymore. there's so many more factors for me than just a Bon Jovi show. That's just an added bonus for me. So yeah, I just think, you know, this is a little bit of a disappointment, this announcement. I was really hoping, you know, they may do similar to like the Palladium show and Broadway and stuff with This House Is Not For Sale, when they played, you know, 4 or 5 different shows. Some may play the album in full, because obviously the only song we've heard live, I think, is Legendary so far from Forever, and the album's coming up to a year, it's 10 months old, which is quite frightening really how quick that's gone. So yeah, it's just a bit of a disappointment. I was hoping for, you know, 3 or 4 shows around the world, and unfortunately it's in Nashville with extortionate prices. Something I certainly with a baby I would never ever dream of paying. I've got better things to spend my money on, like my little son, and not to go and see 60-odd-year-old men anymore who, you know, certainly a lead singer who can't sing anymore for that price, and it's quite sad really. The other reason I wanted to pop on here was, you know, we've not really had any news apart from that. Obviously the Forever Duet album, we've heard that it could be in June, July time. There's a few artists we've heard. Obviously the War and Treaty, I'm guessing, are going to be on it with the People's House. And that's another song that we've heard live, which was dreadful. We've then got Jason Isbell, is that how you pronounce his name? He's going to be on Waves by the looks of it, because obviously co-wrote it. And then was it Lainey Wilson and Marcus, someone I can't even remember. That's how good the names are. I'm not really that excited for the album, I'll be honest with you. I'd sooner a new studio album. I'm excited for the 2 new songs. Apparently one's already been recorded, as in the music video's been recorded for it, so I'm hoping in the next 4 or 5 weeks we should get something from that. Apart from that, I'm not looking forward to it. John Shanks, when he done that podcast the other week, and he was saying he was on it, he did go to say somebody else, and it sounded like he was about to say someone with the initials RO, like at the start of the name. I'm really hoping it's Robbie Williams. I've been a big fan of Robbie Williams since I was a child. I know they get on well. Obviously, Robbie Williams done a post up about the documentary when it got released. He also mentioned the other week that John Bon Jovi contacted him over his biopic thing, the movie that come out. And then obviously we've all seen the interview they done in, what was it, 2012, 2013, where Robbie kind of takes over the interview and asks John a lot of stuff, and they seem to have a really good bond over that. So that wouldn't surprise me if it was. I'd still, you know, if they don't get Ed Sheeran on, and I'm not a massive Ed Sheeran fan, if they don't get Ed Sheeran on for Living in Paradise, they've missed the boat. That could, you know, propel it to a different level. You know, if they want to go to this new audience with bloody Pitbull and that DJ Armin Van Buren or whatever his name was, then it makes sense obviously to get someone like Ed Sheeran, because you can go into a different market. The other one that I've heard is Teddy Swims on Legendary. That's meant to be the other duet, but I don't think I've heard anything else apart from them. We obviously got the Slippery When Wet Deluxe editions the other week. Nothing different than we've heard before, unfortunately. The Sirius XM show a few weeks back, a month or so back, time's just flying now, where we got, you know, some of the, like Something for the Pain and Always and all that, where it was, you know, like the demos pretty much. They were really good, they were different, and obviously it was nice to get some of John's commentary on it. And then it got uploaded to Backstage. Backstage, another thing that's kind of just faded away, unfortunately. That was last January 2024 when that started. And it seemed to stop, no surprise, at Crossroads, and these days onwards has been dead. Apart from the other week when we got the stuff from Sirius. Really hoping they do something for These Days 30th anniversary this year. If they don't, they're just daft, but it doesn't look like nothing's been even, you know, highlighted. We've got many what's it called this year anniversaries. Obviously 25 years of Crush, Burning Bridges is 10 years, and so on and so forth. There's just, you know, so many things that the band have missed out on again, and just kind of released the same crap. The box set's gone quiet. You know, when the documentary happened, Cadillac Man was what everyone wanted. They could have released that and nothing. They missed the boat on everything, and all we get is Pitbull, Armin Van Buren, you know, Slippery reissues and deluxe editions, when you may as well wait until next year when it's the anniversary. There's just so many things that the band slip up on, and missed the boat with, and it's disappointing, it really is, but I'm kind of used to it now, unfortunately. Yeah, so apart from that, you know, as I said, Forever was released 10 months ago, and it felt like the first half of 2024 was fantastic. You know, the band team, or John certainly seemed to be everywhere. We had the music here, we had the backstage, we had the documentary, we had Forever coming out. It just seemed like there was so much in the first 6 months, and then all of a sudden, after Forever got released, it was like nothing happened. It was just flat. We've got obviously the book coming out. I don't even know when that's coming out. Is it July or August time, something like that? The Forever book, which just looks like backstage in a book. Limited edition ones, and then obviously you can get the normal edition on Amazon now. Apart from that, honestly, it's just disappointing. And who knows, you know, the band may surprise us, but I highly doubt it. I'm intrigued, as I said, to see the set list in June. I hope that's something that the fans do bring out, you know, tell us what got played. As I said, I'm not going to listen to people saying how good he sounds, because the people who are going are the typical ones who probably haven't even had to pay for it, and will say how good he is, and that's fine. But I'd sooner listen to it and voice my own opinion, as always. So yeah, disappointing from the band again. I think they've missed the boat with, you know, I haven't seen the band since 2019 now, so it's 6 years already. It's probably going to be 7 by the time they announce anything for next year now. A show would have been nice in, as I said, London Palladium again, or something like that, you know, limited event. But it's not, it's a money grabbing thing again, unfortunately. So yeah, as I always say, guys, one day I hope to get the podcast with other guests on again. I haven't got the time for it, and any time I have got, I want to see my son and spend as much time with him. I work 14 hours a day, so going home at 8 o'clock, half 8 at night, every night when he's ready for bed, it's not ideal. So you know, any time that I get with him is precious at the moment. So who knows, you know, when he's in a better routine, and I hopefully have a better routine, you know, work-life balance and stuff like that, maybe I'll bring them back. But for now, unfortunately not. But guys, thanks again anyway for those who still follow the page. 10,000 fans now, or followers if you want to call it. Still 45,000 subscribers or something on YouTube. And I will try and do these things more often, especially if there's some news announced. But yeah, for now anyway, hopefully we get some more news soon. Thanks everyone.